Asthma triggers is the fancy name given to those things that irritate your airways if you have asthma. Having asthma means your airways are extremely sensitive to at least one particular thing. So, having asthma means that you will also have your own special list of asthma triggers. Your list will be different from everyone else's since there are no specific things that everyone with asthma is sensitive to. As you will see from the list below, the things on your list can be almost anything. And you can also have more than one thing on your asthma triggers list. What happens when you come in contact with one of those things on the list? I like to compare it to being allergic to something, since most people are familiar with allergies. Many people are allergic to pollen, so pollen is on their allergic to list. At certain times of the year, pollen is everywhere, so you get exposed to it. If you are allergic to it, you have certain symptoms like sneezing, watery, itchy eyes, and congestion. If a person with asthma gets exposed to something on their asthma triggers list, they also get certain symptoms. The difference is that the symptoms you get with asthma can be life-threatening. Asthma symptoms affect your breathing tubes called airways that go to your lungs. If the symptoms get bad enough you can't breathe, and we all know that breathing is pretty darn important. What kinds of things can be asthma triggers? There are all kinds of things that can be your asthma triggers. And like I mentioned before, your list of triggers will probably be different than everyone else's. And even if you do have a similar list as someone else, the way that you are affected by the things on the list will be different than the way the other person is. There are no specific rules that asthma has to follow, so every case of asthma is very unique. Anyway, onto the list of possible asthma triggers. Certain foods, could be any kind or type of food, even food additives or preservatives. Air pollution, could be outside air pollution or even the air inside your home. Aerosol sprays, cleaning products, cooking products, hairspray, etc. Animal dander, all pets give off dander. Car exhaust, or any exhaust from machinery or equipment. Cleaning products, certain chemicals or combinations of chemicals. Cockroaches, could be their droppings or even their bodies. Dust mites, they can be in your bedding, carpets, etc. Gas fumes. Grass, shrubs, trees, etc. Mold, could be indoor or outdoor mold. Pollen, any kind of pollen. Smoke, cigarettes, stoves, etc. Some different types of things that could also be asthma triggers. Weather, a specific type of weather or even when the weather changes. Getting emotional, could be stress, anger, depression, etc. Exercise, sometimes just breathing hard could be your trigger. Coming down with another illness like a cold, the flu, etc. Reflux disease, GERD, or even heartburn. Other medications, there might be one type of medication that is your trigger. The above examples are not the only things that can be asthma triggers. But they are a starting point to get you thinking about what your triggers are. You will want to find out what your asthma triggers are. You can't avoid your asthma triggers if you don't know what they are. The bad news is that you can't start to figure them out until you have an asthma attack. That is why every time you have an attack it is important to make note of what you were doing, eating, feeling, etc. and compare it with the list of possible triggers listed above. It will probably take a while, but figuring out your asthma triggers is an excellent way to reduce your number of asthma attacks. Coming into contact with one of your asthma triggers is what causes you to have those nasty asthma symptoms. If you can eliminate contact with your asthma triggers, you can eliminate your asthma symptoms. Bob Hughes is an expert in asthma and natural asthma treatments. You do not have to suffer with asthma for the rest of your life. Take advantage of the information and treatment options he provides to educate yourself about your asthma. You or a loved one can be asthma-free.